Alright, what's happening, guys? Jesse here. We are back for another episode, and today we're going to be talking about some coronavirus COVID recovery stocks that I am watching in July. Alright, so we're going to be talking about some trends that I'm seeing, and then some really interesting stocks that are on my watch list. Still finishing my research on these stocks, but based on what I'm seeing here, I do believe that they will be a beneficiary of the tailwinds for when the reopening fully kicks into gear. Okay, guys? Now, I know that there's been some talk in the market in terms of, the market's really too much and everything's overpriced. And if we look at the index as a whole, I would agree, right? I would say that, it has rallied a lot and things are almost back to where they were before the crash. However, if we have a look a little bit deeper, there are actually some certain sectors that are still lagging, all right, especially in the consumer discretionaries area. And so this is the area that I've been focusing on, especially looking for these solid brands that'll do well once people, start getting out there and just start getting back to normal in terms of life, okay, guys? And so I'll give you guys the backstory. Now, I spend a lot of time on Pinterest, okay? I spend a lot of time on Pinterest, and it's not to perv at cute girls wearing skimpy outfits, okay, guys? But legitimately, I spend a lot of time on Pinterest doing a lot of market research. And what I wanted to take you through was a couple of these slides and screenshots. And I was noticing a few things, right? So take a look at these pictures here and let me know what you guys are seeing. And I've actually circled it over here, okay, guys? And so have a look at what's going on. And what I found was really fascinating, because this was news to me, right? And so based on looking at these, I actually found that, first of all, denim seems to be really back in fashion. Now, I know that denim will never die, but there seems to be more of a shift back into denim, much more so than what it was before, versus, let's say, a few years ago when the whole athleisure, Lululemon yoga pants thing started kicking in, okay, guys? And the other thing that I noticed was these denim outfits, and especially the jeans, the jacket, it was very, very retro, right? This looked like the stuff from back in the 90s, okay? And I know that some of you guys are watching my videos and, you were probably born in the 90s, but, some of the stuff back in the 90s, and I'm going, oh, what's going on here? Is there a shifting fashion trend? So this is actually what led me to then do some deeper research. What I did was I found two stocks that I thought would be a beneficiary. So I wanted to talk you through my research and the two stocks that I found, and why I've decided to pick these two stocks. Okay, guys, so this is what we're going to be talking about in the video. And if you guys wouldn't mind taking about half a second to just hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share the video, leave a comment. Really helps the channel grow. Much appreciated, and helps me feel better when I spend hours and hours doing research and then bringing this to you guys. Just a quick word from our sponsors, Hatch. I've got a link below. If you deposit your first $100 or more, you get $10 credit towards your account. Fantastic fees, my favorite broker in New Zealand. And, obviously this video is for educational purposes, so none of this is financial advice or investment advice. And all the research I produce, it's my own research, and that's obviously not reflective of Hatch's opinion on any of the stocks. They're simply just my favorite broker that I use to buy and sell US shares in New Zealand. Okay, guys? So just a quick reminder there, always do your own research. And before buying anything, speak to a qualified professional. The two brands that I found were Levi's and Buckle. Now, obviously, Levi's, everybody's probably heard of it. You know somebody that has a Levi's product. You probably have a Levi's product of your own. Buckle, you probably would have never heard of. Okay, guys? So we're going to start off with Levi's, and then I'm going to take you through the research and why I think that these will be a beneficiary of the coronavirus recovery tailwind. When I first started looking at these Pinterest pictures, and I was going, well, is denim back in fashion? Is it not? And what I found was that it kind of is, it kind of isn't. There was a bit of conflicting information, okay? But what I found that it wasn't just denim jeans, you had denim dresses, denim jackets, denim everything, okay? And so what I did was I did a bit more digging. And through that, I actually uncovered, okay, so it is a bit of a throwback style, and retro denim is back in, okay, guys? And that's one of the styles. So following that, what I did was I did a bit more research, and then I found some, influential YouTubers, Instagrammers, whatever you like, right? And I had a look at their channel. I had a look at what they were talking about. I had a look at the styles that they were mentioning. I had a look at, them talking about who else they were following. And so that led me deeper down the rabbit hole. And then I actually realized, okay, so it wasn't actually just, the retro denim was back in, but there were a few key styles that were back in, and, all the girls are sort of raving on about it, right? Because sort of guys' fashion, it doesn't really change that much, but women's fashion is a lot more, it fluctuates a lot more. And so what I then did was I said, okay, well, so what are actually the styles called? Well, you've got your high-rise denim, you've got your straight cuts, you've got your high-rise straight cuts, etc., etc. And then there's a much more of a movement around this whole sort of inclusiveness, body positivity, right? And then jeans are no longer your sort of old school, really, really tight, really sort of, uncomfortable, right? That's sort of why people moved away from it in the first place. And so what I also found out was that jeans and denim and etc. was actually making a comeback against, activewear, athleisure, your yoga pants, Lululemons, whatever you like to call it, right? And this is interesting because denim had declined for 4 years straight in terms of sales, and they were losing out. And that's why, your likes of your Lululemons and your Nike Active, right? They're sort of going up because, the innovation and the materials were behind, and the sort of feeling, it wasn't very comfortable, and it didn't really suit many different body types, right? It was always a struggle to get jeans on. So what they did was they did a bit more innovation. They changed the materials, changed the fabric, and now you get jeans that look like jeans but feel and wear like activewear and yoga pants, right? So we've got the look and the comfort, and what that's done is that's brought a lot of women back into buying these jeans, right? And this is really good for the likes of your Levi's and your Buckles, but especially Levi's. I mean, as you guys can see over here, their sales to women, right? It's just growing at double digits year on year for the last 10 consecutive quarters. And well, obviously it's probably now like 13 because this was, back in 2019, right? So what this is telling me is that there's some secular tailwinds that are still playing out, and it hasn't run out of steam. And so as you can see, their women's business is now, over $1 billion in terms of sales alone, right? So this is really, really interesting. So what this then led me to do was to compare how Levi's is performing against all of their competitors, okay, guys? And as you guys can see over here, you got your Calvin Klein jeans, your Lee jeans, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, same company, right? You got your American Eagles, and as you can see, they are, obviously American Eagle is another very, very good brand, but if you look at their share price, it's run up a lot more than Levi's, right? However, Levi's is still the clear leader and the clear preferred brand when it comes to jeans, okay? Furthermore, if you actually have a look at the study, and obviously this was from a couple of years ago, but what it shows is that Levi's is significantly outperforming the industry average. Now, obviously, American Eagle has caught up, but, Levi's is still the most loved. And it's not just Americans, right? And I can show you some data afterwards internationally as well. But if you, again, have a look at it here, again, this was before the lockdown, but, people would wear denim a lot, right? So it's a thing that you would wear a lot, and you would wear it at different outfits and, any day of the week. So again, some really good tailwinds going for this company. But even so, if we have a look at the international trends, you actually see that, even for the global data, right? So to the left is the US data, and then to the right is the global data. And as you guys can see over here, clearly is still a clear leader in the sort of jeans part, all right, guys? And so you guys might be saying, well, look, what about the jackets? What about the skirts? What about the other products, right? Because jeans are only, I guess, the 6th most popular item, especially among young people and millennial women, right? But then you look at, for example, your denim jackets. Well, obviously, Levi's is still leading, right? If we compare it to American Eagle, Wrangler, Gap, Urban Outfitters, they're still the clear front runner, okay? The only thing that American Eagle is leading them on is obviously the denim skirts part, and you can see by a huge mile. Having said that, though, they are still, the number 2 player, okay? So 2 out of 3 key categories of denim, Levi's are leading, so this is very good for me, right? Denim clothing, denim jacket is actually, the most popular, and obviously this was from November, so it is still in fashion, followed by denim skirts, and jeans is, sort of on the six down on the list. Okay, guys. So what that then led me to do was to go, okay, well, they're clearly leading in jeans. What are they doing to capture this tailwind of the denim jacket? And so this was only from a month ago, and this is what I found really interesting. Now, do I think that this information is going to move the needle? It's probably more so a branding exercise and an awareness exercise, sort of publicity and marketing. But what I can say is that their collaboration with Super Mario, this should be very good for their business. And the reason being is because, right now, Mario Kart is probably one of the top-selling mobile games globally. And last year, the top 20 best-selling games, Mario Kart came in at 8. Okay, guys? So this is, they're clearly engaging with a younger demographic, which American Eagle is leading in. But, they're not sort of just sleeping on it and not doing anything. Okay, guys? Levi's did rally a bit, but as you can see, they've only sort of gone up about 28% from their lows when the market bottomed. And they're still down almost 40%, from their highs. Well, not highs, but, before the crash, okay? And as you guys can see, their share price was trending upwards because they did deliver a really good beat in terms of their last quarter. So, all in all, I think that this is a really, really strong business to look at, and this is why it's on my watch list. And like I said, I'm still researching it, and I'm carefully tracking the reopening just in case anything throws it off. But, definitely a good stock to put into your watch list. Alright guys, so next stock I wanted to talk to you guys about is Buckle. Now this is probably something that the majority of you haven't heard of, and if you guys don't like swing trading, I don't sort of, recommend looking at Buckle. Okay, so for me, Buckle is purely a swing trade because their business, whilst it's not legit, it's definitely not great. They've sort of traded between the ranges of 25, 26 and 12, 13, 14. Okay. And the reason why their share price has been so volatile is because their business, I guess you can say, has been caught up in time, and management have been complacent and slow to react, okay? Now, the best way that I can describe Buckle, their style, is, it's like Johnny Bravo. It's a bit of a show pony, right? It's really that sort of loud, unapologetic, that sort of Golden Belt States type of American fashion. And obviously, with people becoming more progressive, that's dying out, okay, guys? Now, management have adapted, but they were very, very slow to adapt. And as a result, that's why their share price went from, close to 50 down to about 12 at the bottom, right? Because you've got the jeans and the denim, and that's what they specialize in. That market is it's no longer about, wearing all the blingy, flashy designer $300 denim. People don't care about that, right? Denim is an everyday thing. And so that's why their business was being taken by the likes of, American Outfitters, H&M, Topshop, Zara, because people don't want a $300 pair of jeans, right? They want something, $20 to $80. And so as a result, as you can see, their comp sales have fallen over. But however, management did adapt. Now, is it too little too late? I don't know, right? But what we can see is that the business has stopped the bleeding, and they're actually starting to take an uptrend. Now, I don't think that this is going to be an aggressive uptrend, but at this point, any news that's not bad news is good news where the share price is, in my opinion. Okay, guys? So that's what we have here. And as you guys can see, they've sort of simplified the business a lot more, right? Before you had you had a CFO and a VP of Finance and Treasury. I have no idea why you need, it's effectively the same role, right? And also, if you look at the earnings calls, you had, the VP of Merchandising never talked, right? And you had a male person, doing women's merchandising. It doesn't make sense, right? Because guys don't know female fashion, right? So what they did was they simplified the business, and they got 2 separate heads of merchandising, and they've really, obviously they still sell the whole rock revival and all that other stuff, that sort of loud, unapologetically American type style jeans. However, their business has fundamentally changed, right? I mean, if we look at back in the days, it was sort of skinny models, they looked like planks, and then they wore this sort of style, and it wasn't reaching their diverse customer base. Whereas today, you look at their landing page, right? It's inclusive, it's about body positivity, it's about, embracing yourself, that sort of positive image. And obviously, as a result, they've got jeans for all shapes and sizes and etc. other wear. And so that's why people have started to come back in, and they're obviously targeting a much more broader customer base, right? Now the other thing is, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through and just talk you through the numbers and just show you exactly how they're turning this business around. And whilst like I said, I don't think it's going to be exponential, any not bad news is good news at this point, and that's why Buckle is on my watch list. And as you guys can see over here, I've taken you into my margin calculator. Now, what I want us to focus on is the non-GAAP figures first, okay, guys? Because GAAP figures are a lagging indicator, and they don't tell us anything about the business, right? But the non-GAAP figures do. So, as you guys can see over here, if we focus on the merchandise sales change, and then the average price points, okay? So, let's carefully focus on the average denim price points for men and women. And what you'll notice is, as I slowly go to the right along this spreadsheet, you'll notice that the woman's business was declining significantly more than the men's business, okay, guys? And as I mentioned before, as you guys know, this is because athleisure came in and women didn't want to be, they wanted to feel comfortable, right? But as you guys can see, because of the whole, denim making a comeback trend, their women's business has stopped bleeding, and it actually started to return to, comparable growth. And a lot of their growth in their business and their recovery was also led by their footwear and accessories segment, whereby they really focused on getting exclusive and unique designs, okay? So it wasn't just sticking with the whole sort of old school country type look, where it obviously wasn't hitting the mark anymore, right? So what's happening is here, and also it was very overpriced, right? Remember how that bit we saw in the video where denim prices had to come down to be in line with your likes of your H&Ms, your Zara's, your American Eagles? You can see that the woman's average denim price points has significantly dropped from almost about $100 down to just sort of your mid-low 70s, okay, guys? And so what this tells me is that management have started to react and respond. Now, whilst they are late to the party, you can see over here, guys, they're really focusing on their private label brands, all right? So that affordability, comfort, people are paying because denim, like I said, is everyday wear. It's not, you don't need something flashy that's $300, right? You want to wear it every day and feel comfortable. So they've been focusing on changing their loyalty programs, they've been focusing on their merchandise, and they've just really been focusing on refreshing their inventory because they had a lack of innovation, right? So they had an inventory crisis and a lack of innovation crisis, okay? And so as a result, again, embrace the trends, and that's why the business has slowly turned around. Now, do I think that, their business is quality compared to Levi's? Absolutely not, right? So for me, Levi's would be something of a longer-term hold for what, old man Buffett might say. It's a wonderful business, okay? Fantastic business. Whereas Buckle is, get in and get out when the sentiment changes, because as long as they don't deliver bad news, in my opinion, that should make the share price re-rate. Okay, guys? But like I said, I haven't finished my research, and that's why both are still on my watch list, and I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks completing my research. All right, guys. So until next time, that's the end of the video. Happy investing. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and looking forward to catching you in the next video.